Okay, now that I'm in the mindset to do the beveling, I'm just going to continue, no brakes. My old trusty pressure flaker. In case I didn't show this completely in the last video, but it's just a piece of antler beam with a little piece of the tine sticking out of one end, shaped with a modern tools to get started, and then with primitive tools to finish out. Now, as the arrowhead gets smaller and smaller and thinner, I have to grind this more and more to a point. Same with copper or steel or aluminum. If you've got some in reserve, like some tools in reserve, you can just break out the smaller point tool or whatever. I'm just going to use this one flaker. I probably should have more than one tool sitting there. Ooh, that went too far. You don't want them to go that far. If you want a median ridge, you can't have them travel too far. That was the complaint. That was the, how do I do it without making them travel too far? Well, just gotta make sure you don't put as much force as you've been doing. Less force, dude. You don't want it traveling over the top. Does a pad help to stop it? Yeah, it can. I suppose you can get good at putting it on the pad in a certain way that it interferes with the flaking, and you can get it to stop in the middle, I suppose, by using the pad strategically. I guess that's the word. Where's my other pad? I don't like this pad. I used to like these, but I don't like them anymore. I like these better. I used to like this pad. I suppose it's good for bigger points, but when I'm getting down to these smaller ones, alright, when I get down to the smaller points, I don't like the wonky pads. It's got to be perfectly domed. So what am I doing? I'm just going to regularize the edge a little bit so I can send some flakes into this area. Maybe I can get rid of that step fracture. Maybe I can't, but we'll see. Yeah, we're still doing okay on the thickness. It's got to stay thick. If you want a median ridge, it's got to stay thick. So short flakes only. They don't need to go all the way across. In fact, it's better that they don't. Is this too thick for an arrowhead? Right now, yes. And it's probably going to stay pretty thick. But if you look at the points with median ridges, very rarely are they extremely thin. They're not as thin as the random ones. They're not as thin as the random flaking ones. In my experience, the ones with median ridges are not as thin as the random flaking ones. I think I saw some Cahokia points with median ridges too. Some of those are pretty thin, so you can plan it out to where your preform is just the right thickness, so by the time you get to the ending stages, it'll be just the right thickness. Did I say that right? If the preform is perfect, then your finished stage will be a lot easier. I just kind of guessed on this one. I'm doing some damage control, making sure the surface is nice and even, because basically I'm going to finish out like the flake over grind guys are finishing out. Just one pass at the very end. It's nice and cosmetic. Hopefully that's the goal. This is very good Georgetown flint, so I have no excuse as far as materials go. Yeah, just create a median ridge without getting too thin and not losing too much width. Which means you've got to be careful with the pressure flaking. I'm zoomed in as close as I want, as close as I'm able to get without having issues staying in frame, because it goes all over the place. If I'm too close, I can't hold it in frame. You're going to have to get used to what the dullness needs to be on these edges to push off flakes. You're going to get used to how dull it needs to be. You got to do that on your own. I can't really show you or teach you. All I can do is show you what I do. And yeah, I'm intentionally trying to create a median ridge. Now, did they intentionally want to create a median ridge on some of these? I don't think so. I think it's just incidental. But I had to do it intentionally because I don't knap that way. I knap randomly, and it doesn't matter if I have median ridge or not. Yeah. So I've got to pay attention that doesn't happen toward the ending stages. But right now it's not too bad, but at the ending stages I can't have that. And how do I avoid that? Just have to be very precise with the flaking. You know, each flake has to be planned. Each flake has to be planned. And I don't do it that way because for me it takes forever to do it that way. And it defeats the purpose of learning how to do it fast. So you can make a bunch of stuff for your hunting arrow set. You know, you don't hunt with one arrow, right? And it's even worse when you go to war. You don't go to war with one arrow. You go to war with as many as 60. So what are you doing taking all your day just making one arrowhead? So why they did it this way, to make a median ridge, who knows? Nobody knows. Strength, yeah, it makes it a stronger arrowhead. You can just make it thick anyway. Random flaking, just thick. Same strength. And not as difficult. And a lot faster. This technique is all persnickety. Yeah, I need to get a. It's already really too. It's getting. The arrowhead's getting too small for me to be using such a fat tip. So here we go. And I'm working on the smallest part of the arrowhead first, so I can get oriented, and then finish out. See, if I get oriented at the tip, the pressure flaker is going to get worn down, and the tip's going to get thicker again. But that's okay, because then I'll go down to the areas where it needs a thicker point. Okay, so it starts thick to do the basics. Then I get up to where the point is, and I start to thin down the tip of the flaker, and then as I finish out, I'll finish the tip first, and as I'm going down, this wears out. The tip of the pressure flaker wears out and becomes thicker and thicker for me to do the finish out flakes at the bottom, which requires a thicker pressure flaker. All right? Hope that made sense. That's my strategy. Do I always do it that way? No, I'm usually just random. I usually do random flaking. Random. So sometimes I need it to be thick, sometimes I don't. You know, the pressure flaker, sometimes I need the pressure flaker to be thick, sometimes I don't. That sort of thing. I'm trying to power through the step fracture, but it's not working. It works a little bit. Yeah, the tip on the antler is still too thick. But I'm going to make do with what I got. For the sake of expediency, I just make do with what I got. I know what I need to do to make a perfect point. But I can stop with every flake and reanalyze. Stop with every flake. Just stop. It's a painstaking process if you do it perfect. If you try for perfection, and if you don't have any expediency, you're going to need to stop. If you're not stopping and reanalyzing and you're trying to do it perfectly, you're not going to achieve the perfection you want. You've got to stop and reanalyze and look and check and prepare and persnickety it to death. Eventually it gets faster as you get used to doing it. But again, it's a trade-off. Guys that in the past that were flaking that way were probably professional flint knappers that were making points for everybody, and they just had a lot of experience after a while. Because they were the one that made the points. They were the ones that made the points for everybody. Let's see. I'm messing up the median ridge, but I don't see how else I'm going to get rid of the step fractures, and I'll go back to trying to do a median ridge later. I got to get rid of these step fractures. And ensure that I've got edges that can be used for thinning down this piece. I may lose the tip, because with this method I'm doing tip first. Let's see. And for the really perfect flaking, it's even more persnickety than this. For the ribbon flaking, if you think this is bad, it's not even close. This is still kind of random. And when I started Flintknapping, I did it because I felt like I was being productive, and it was something I could do with any mood, and it was something I liked the results of. I liked having arrowheads. The result was I had some arrowheads because I was going to use them for hunting arrows in the beginning. Back when I was able to do hunting because people that I knew, I could go with people that I knew that were into hunting at the time. But as everyone got busy, and everyone got kind of burnt out on hunting, it's like, well, not going anymore, dude. Really? Yeah. It was fun for a while, but nowadays I can just buy the deer sausage. I'll go out to shoot a trophy every once in a while by myself. Really? Yeah. Just whenever I get invited. They only invite me, so I gotta go by myself. Alright. So yeah, you can get invited to some of these exotic game ranches and stuff. Some of it's invitation only. You gotta save up. Have this little account saved up already, so when they call you, you already have your money. Yep, I can go. Waiting lists. Put yourself on a waiting list, save up the money, and just have it sitting there. Then when they call you up, you're all ready. I wish I could have done that. If I had any savings, it was like, what? You got savings and we're suffering with this car? You could have put a down payment down on another car? We could have swapped this one in? What are you doing? So yeah. Are we getting the median ridge? We're getting kind of the median ridge, yeah. It's a very definite effort. Ouch, ouch, ouch. That one I hit my thumb instead of hitting the pad. I think it bounced off the pad, hit my thumb. My thumb is not supposed to be used as pad. Okay, here we go. These down here are harder to do. Oh, and don't worry, we're not even close to being done. Not even close. Don't worry. There's a lot more to torture you with in this video. Oh yes. Come on. Yeah, antler tools are not the best quality, not the most consistent. As far as tools go, as far as ancient materials, yeah, antler is the, as far as the ancient materials go, antler is supreme. But as far as modern materials, antler is meh. M-E-H. M-E-H, meh. There are much better tools and materials, in case you're wondering. Now, can modern materials measure up to how well antler can put a sharpness on the flint? That one's a good question, because I don't know. Sometimes I think yes, sometimes I think no. Sometimes I think modern tools, they fall short of being able to sharpen the edges like antler can. But as long as we find a material like antler, we can use it to sharpen the edges. Modern material might even be better. And the pad did interfere with that one. The pad, yes, the pad. All right, so here we go. Let's see. Here we go, finishing up one side and reaching another stage here where I have to do the final finishing on the other side. Try to do the final finishing on the other side. But I got to be a little bit more persnickety. What I need to do is not drop the tools down in random locations every time. I gotta sit here and go, okay, stop, put this down right there where I can see. Come back over here and remember where I was. Where was I? Oh yes, is this okay? Is this tool okay? Let's see, is this gonna seat rail? Let's see, is it gonna touch the pad? Is the pad okay? Everything okay? Alright. There we go. Perfect? No. Even after all that. But at least I did the check on the pressure flaker. I did a check on the position of the hammerstone down there or the abrader down there. Everything's in position. Oh yes. Is it medium ridgy? Yeah, I guess so. How am I going to get rid of that step fracture? I don't know. Carefully, I guess. I can be a smarty pants about it. Gonna get rid of it carefully. Yeah, make sure everything's in position. Make sure everything's sharpened just right. So, dude, you don't have to go so slow when you do this stuff. You can speed it up. I've seen them speed it up. I've seen guys that can speed it up. You don't need to go slow at all. In fact, going slow is like unnatural. You're just making it up. Just faking it. Not supposed to go slow. Yeah. If I went fast and said that was the normal way to do it, I'd probably be lying. Because you get much better results if you go slow. Much better results if you don't speed. Take your time. Connect to the stone, you know. Become one with the stone. That sort of thing. Go slow. Take it easy, man. Be delicate when you need to. Be aggressive when you need to. Stop and meditate. Figure out what you need to do first. Don't let the mood overcome you. If you do it fast and you get angry, you're going to be doing a lot of stuff while you're angry, comparatively speaking. If you slow it down, the anger goes away and you'll be doing less stuff while you're angry. So the slower you go, the better the results. So I'm not going to do you any favors if I go fast. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's good enough, I suppose. Good enough. Alright, we got step fracture. We got a step fracture on this side that we need to get rid of because it looks ugly, although they did have them on the real ones. I'm going to try to get rid of that. Oh yes. Did it do it? You know it did when I asked that question. Does it do it on all materials? Does this technique work on everything? No. Sorry. Only, I suppose it would work best only with the good stuff. I suppose it works best with good material like high quality Georgetown. If you got something that's really steppy and you try to do that power through the step fracture, it might not work. Just like that one too. Of course, that flake went too far. I didn't meditate on it before I flaked it. Yeah, consider the power behind each flake. I'm really using a tip that's way too fat. Let's see, do I have another one? I should have, let's see, I have other flakers. Let me see. Yeah, I have other natural tool flakers that have more pointy tips than this, but I don't have them available within 5 seconds. They're in storage. I have enough tools sitting in my box as it is. Don't need 100 more. Or even like 10 more. I don't need all those tools. Unless someone asks me to do median ridge flaking. But I don't want to go looking for all that stuff, so I'm just winging it. Oh yes. Here we go. Another pass. Try to thin that down a little bit more. Let's see. No. Where'd it go? There. It's supposed to go right where I put it. Not supposed to get jumbled around while I move my feet. Maybe I should get a table. One of those paleo tables. Alright. Yeah, get me one of those nice paleo chairs next to a nice paleo table with a nice paleo file so I can file the tool easily. You've seen them, the paleo files, right? And I'm not talking about, you know, I'm not talking about the paleo fetish. I'm talking about the file, you know, like removing material type file. Okay. Yeah, you didn't know they had paleo files? Paleo sanders? Paleo sandpaper? You didn't know that? Man. Yeah, if you're using natural tools and you're using paleo sandpaper, I'm sorry, but you're not doing it the old ways. Nope. You're not doing it like the old ways. No, you know, no. You're missing out. Yeah, and if you're not going out walking 200 miles to get your stone, you're not doing it the old ways either. 200 miles is an easy one. That's an easy source. You need to walk a lot longer than that, because they used to walk further than that. Have you researched how long they would walk in your area to get stone? Fighting off bears and other wild animals? Mountain lions? Did you fight your mountain lion to get to your stone? It's not like the old ways. That's why it's so funny. Let's see, did they always have to fight mountain lions to get to their stone in the old ways? Well, if they didn't, how are they going to get their mountain lion quiver, huh? How are they going to get a skin for their mountain lion quiver? They didn't fight the mountain lion on the way to the quarry. Riddle me that one, Batman. Yeah. I think we're out of time on this segment. And I blew away the median ridge down here because I wanted to thin it down. But I can just put it back in because we're not done yet. Oh no, we're not even close. I got to get tools and better tips so that I can run more narrow flakes. Why is it not zooming in? There we go. I got to get finer flakes. These flakes are too fat. Yeah, no one wants to see fat flakes. I want to see very fine ribbon flakes. So I need a tool that's skinnier than this, from antler that's a little bit tougher than this, and probably about 4 or 5 different flakers of different sizes, so I don't have to keep resharpening on video, and you know, just as backup because one might break. But I got the median ridge going. As long as I can get the tip started, I can do it all the way down. It's basically beveling, and that's pretty much it. Okay, I'm going to continue on the next segments.